All right, in today's video, I'm gonna show you how to calculate the ROI of social media. Let's hop into it. Hey, what's up everybody? Jordan Shelton here with the Mind Your Marketing podcast. And I want to address the elephant in the social media room. And it is 3 letters that marketers have a hard time with. I think there's a lot of frustration around it when they're pressed to answer for it. And that is ROI, or return on investment. This is something I'm passionate about because I think if we are unable to show the ROI of our work in the marketing department, then we are seen as the arts and crafts department by everybody else in our company. And that can be fun and okay when times are good. However, when times are bad, a couple bad quarters consecutively, and that company's got to make layoffs, they are going to keep people, and the executives are going to keep people that they deem as profit centers, not cost centers. So I want us to be able to really position ourselves as profit centers and how we can show the ROI of our work in social media. Because if you're watching this, you know that social media is valuable, right? And you've probably been pressed before when your boss comes to you and says, okay, what's the ROI of that? And you go, engagement, value, or giving value. And it becomes this thing, this knee jerk. I want to equip you on how to really, I don't want to say combat that, but really work with your executives to show them like, look, this is a worthwhile endeavor for us to do social, and it's actually helping our revenue. And then if you're an executive looking at this and you're going like, should we invest in social? Is this even worth it? Is this a channel that's good for us? I want to talk you through maybe how it could be. I'm not saying, and this is an important caveat before we get started, not every business needs to be on social. I think that needs to be said as well. Look, barbers love to sell haircuts. Social media managers love to sell social media, but not every single business needs to be on social media. For instance, if you're a property management group, I don't think you need to have this massive social media presence because all people are going to do is literally complain on every post you have. So it might not be worth it. Now, let's get into how you can actually prove the ROI of social media. Okay, so for the purposes of this video, we're going to break it into 2 sections. We are going to talk about leading metrics and lagging metrics. So let's start with our leading metrics. Leading metrics. These are metrics where we can instantly or within a very short period of time see we are moving in the right direction. So that is if people click through and purchased in a perfect world, leads created. We also see like engagements, comments, shares, impressions, sentiment analysis, market share. Are people saying a lot of positive things about you in the media today? Okay, is that going on Reddit? All right, we need to be able to go and take those mentions, put those and say, hey, this is what's happening on the internet. This is how people are actually engaging with our content. Then 2, micro conversions. All right, micro conversions. These are when people, they don't necessarily give you their credit card, but they give you something else. They give you an email, a phone number. They sign up for something. That can be for a webinar, a free event. Say you're a local business and you're doing hey, we're doing a pop-up, a free Pilates. Come get your free Pilates and then we're going to do whatever after. We're going to do yoga on the beach and then go for drinks after. Can you get people to sign up for that, right? Can you have that happen? Okay, those are micro conversions. When those go the right way, typically your revenue is going to follow as you'll be able to convert some of those email people into actual sales. As you collect those emails, you can actually target them with your Facebook or other social media ads. There are avenues to get other parts of the marketing department to actually push those people across the line once they've had that micro conversion. Then we look at audience growth and traffic. How much traffic are you sending to the website? And is that traffic then converting? If you're seeing all this in a very short period of time, those are your leading metrics. Hey, we're doing something right. Now, in a perfect world, sure, we would post on social media. That post would lead to X amount of clicks, and that then would lead to X amount of conversions. And we could say, look, the ROI of this post is whatever. Yeah, unless... Nah, it don't work like that for any business. So this is an important thing then when we see this to think about lagging metrics. And lagging metrics are a real thing. They do take more time. These are things that over a longer time horizon, you can start to track. Number 1, the most important, sales and revenue. Do you have attribution in the mix? Are you able to actually attribute sales? It might happen over 3 to 6 months, but can you attribute it to social media? Next, your customer lifetime value. When we look at the LTV of customers, lifetime value, we want to see, is that going up and is that increasing alongside our social activity? 2, in a sub-metric of customer lifetime value, we could look at customer service and response times. So social media is a much faster way to handle customer service. You get a lot more one and dones through social. That ultimately saves your company money, especially on an upfront cost standpoint, because you don't have as much money going into customer service reps, and they can actually handle more inquiries and more cases per hour when we look at customer service. 2, it helps with retention, because consumers today expect to be able to reach out to companies on social media. And if they go and they have a request, they're frustrated and you don't answer, that is going to open the door. One, opens the door for people to see that you don't answer. So they're not going to want to do business with you. Two, that customer, when they reach out and do that, if they don't get followed up with, they are going to go to a competitor. So their LTV stops right there. And you gave them somebody who now is probably going to go and sing the praises of your competitor and bash you. So we think about this. Social gives us the opportunity to re-engage existing customers, increasing their lifetime value. And it also, as a sub metric, gives us an opportunity to save customers and save customers through effective customer service. These are real dollars that we can keep on the table with social media. Okay, next, a lagging metric. And this is going to be industry dependent, but conversion rate over a typical sales cycle. Okay, next, and this is going to be dependent on your industry and what you are selling, but it's knowing the conversion rate and the typical sales cycle. So this is understanding from the first touch point you have with a customer, how long it's going to take them to actually make a purchase. For quick turnaround offers, DTC, products under $100, you can evaluate sales impact over 2 to 4 weeks. Typically, we look at a mid-sales cycle. That's a B2C subscription. B2B with shorter cycles or a smaller clip like a software. Okay, those results are probably going to come in over 1 to 3 months. And when I say software, I mean things like social media scheduling tool or a small business accounting software. Things that don't have a massive yearly subscription fee, a monthly fee, you're using to help for your business. And then lastly, do you sell higher ticket B2B software or B2B services, right? My agency, we have an extremely long sales cycle. I'm coming in and saying, hey, we'll be your social agency. We'll help craft your strategy, build your content, and get it rolling. Sometimes those sales cycles are close to a year. A post I'm doing today can impact a sale a year from now. I know that in my model, and other businesses need to know that too. If you were selling enterprise software, you know that the time frame for some of those deals, it could be a multi-year close process. So we look at that. I say, okay, where is your customer currently in the journey and how long will it take them to get to the end? If you know that the sales cycles are longer, then we need to say, when we started doing our social campaign, right? In my case, I know I'm about 8 months to a year for our sales cycle. Okay, I go back and look, what was my social activity like 8 months to a year ago? Has it increased? And have the sales started to trail and actually match from that when I started to do that increase? That's going to help me understand the ROI of my social media. So think about it like this, right? Lagging metrics, they're similar to being a farmer. You go plant the seeds, the plant grows, you go out, you harvest the crops. Takes a while. Where when we think about leading metrics, it's much more like the hunter. You got to go out, you eat what you kill, and it happens that day. It's going to go bad. There's not a very long process, right? So we want to make sure that we're incorporating both into our tracking and how we think about social media effectiveness and ROI. Now, there are some other considerations that I don't want to say they shouldn't be, they just are real and they are there. Okay, number one, founder ego. You might be in the marketing department and you have all of this stuff. You're like, I got my leading, lagging metrics. It's great. And the founder comes in and goes, yeah, but I want to do this project, or I need to do videos of myself, or we're going to an event, or I'm speaking, or we need to boost something. And it's totally off your strategy. And you're like, what the heck? This is just a real part of being in a marketing department and being in an agency. Founder ego is a real thing. Not every founder has it, but you need to know that sometimes a founder is going to come in and say, I want X, make it happen. And you got to go, okay, and you do that. Now, another thing that we have to consider, outside investor demands, right? TikTok might not be a channel for you that moves the needle. You might be a moving company and you're like, okay, I don't need global reach on my moving company. I need people in the local area to know my moving company because I can only move within, 20 miles of my city. Somebody seeing my content across the world does nothing for me. But if an investor comes in and says, we need to be on TikTok, I don't care. And it's really dependent on, my cash is dependent on that. Well, now you look at the ROI and go, okay, do we need that investment? That investment is, I don't want to call it, it's not revenue, but it is cash that's going to help the business, right? Sure. So to get some of that liquidity, you're going to have to give something up. The founder is going to come in and say, look, this investor is giving us this cash, but they want to see TikTok. They want to see the brand themselves on the platform that they're on. Okay, you might have to go through and just do that. So those are things to consider that nobody wants to talk about in marketing, but it's a very real part of it. So that's what I would look at if you're looking to calculate ROI. Get your leading metrics, your lagging metrics. Try to get your attribution model as good as you can, and then go to your executives, go to your boss, get them to sign off and agree on the value that you create or that you have to create. What is the value of impressions to the business? If you can get those numbers, even if they're imperfect, but you can have something to agree with your boss to say, look, we drove X amount of impressions and that's worth Y amount of dollars to the company. Here's the value of our social programs. That's huge. But whatever it is, you don't want to leave it up to guessing and at the end of the year saying, look, I've done all these metrics. And then your boss goes, okay, what does that that mean? How has that helped the company move forward toward its goals? All right. I hope you enjoyed that. I am Jordan Sheldon. This was the Mind Your Marketing podcast. If you got any questions, drop them in the comment section. I'd love to see those and I will follow up. I follow up with all of them. Until next time, take care.